something I learned when Overwatch 2 came out is that people really hate free-to-play, like really hate it. And you know, I understood that for Overwatch because it was a change to the status quo. You know, people don't usually like change, so when everyone was perfectly happy with old Overwatch's monetary system, it makes total sense that they'd be mad about the change. Don't get me wrong, I totally understand that. Like some games, not naming any names, but some games really like to have really overpriced cosmetics to make up for the fact that it's a free-to-play game. But that doesn't mean that the free-to-play is bad, it means the overpriced cosmetics are bad. Yeah, in my opinion, this is all subjective. Yeah. I'm a very broke college student and I love video games, so I love free-to-play because it means that I don't have to pay for games, because I can't pay for games, I have to pay for like groceries instead, which kind of sucks. So I'm talking about the good, the bad and the ugly of free-to-play today. And I think one of the best examples of free-to-play, at least as far as I'm concerned, is Fortnite. I've been playing a lot of Fortnite recently, and as a human magpie, it was not easy for me to resist the temptation of skins for very long. When most people think of battle passes, they'll think of Fortnite, and while Fortnite didn't invent the battle pass, it certainly popularized it. Fortnite's battle pass costs 950 virtual bucks. Is that what the V stands for? You can buy 1,000 V-Bucks for $8.99 or $9 and 99¢. But if you complete the battle pass, you'll get 1,500 V-Bucks back. Now that's what I call a profit. So if you play a lot of Fortnite and you're smart about it, you can pay for the battle pass once and have it free again and again and again and so on and so forth. And you can get like an emote or something as well if you'd like. With Fortnite there's a lot of content for free and even more for less than 10 quid. This is the kind of free-to-play that I really like because I think it works out well for the consumer and for the company. I, as the consumer, get like a bunch of stuff for free and then like a bunch more stuff for not a whole lot of money, and the company, Epic Games, makes a shit ton of money. Like it's a lot of fucking money. Fortnite also has a thing called the Fortnite Crew. It's a monthly subscription. It costs $11.99 in both euros and dollars. I think it's $9.99 in UK pounds if I recall correctly. And it includes one Fortnite Battle Pass, one Rocket League Battle Pass, 1,000 V-Bucks and a skin. And it's also so easy to cancel, which is really nice. It's a very nice change for me actually. I'm used to trying to cancel like Spotify and Amazon. Of course, the one thing that people bring up the most when talking about free-to-play is the overpriced skins. Like that one time I paid 45 euros for one Valorant knife. I don't regret it though. In my defense, it's a really pretty knife and it was limited time. It was never going to come back. But speaking of Valorant, I think it's pretty bad free-to-play, at least in terms of the monetary way it's done for the consumer. While I don't really play Valorant anymore, I used to really enjoy it and I spend a lot on skins. I probably shouldn't have spent that much, but here we are. Valorant has a skin shop, as most, if not all, free-to-play games do, and in this shop you'll have like a bundle or bundles that they're selling at the time. Sometimes they're exclusive, like that one knife, which means you can always sell them for that little bit more because they'll never be back. And then they also have 4 other skins underneath, and these skins change every day and they are different for every user. The fact that these skins change every day creates a really fake sense of urgency. Fortnite also does this, which I'm obviously not a big fan of, but the difference between Fortnite and Valorant is that Fortnite skins are, you know, I mean they're money, but they're not insane amounts of money. Valorant skins go from, you know, 10 quid to like 45 euros. Most of them are 20 or 25 euros. That's a lot of money for like some very pretty pixels. The fact that the shop changes every day does create this false sense of urgency that might get someone to buy a skin they wouldn't otherwise buy, because who knows when they'll get this opportunity again. The fact that it changes every day also creates this false sense of anticipation, because, I mean, totally not something that happened to me, where, you know, you check your shop every day for one skin and then finally the access fan, I mean, some random given skin, totally not one that happened to me, shows up in your shop and then you drop like 25 quid on it without thinking. Totally not what happened to me. Okay, maybe this is what happened to me. Okay, but like, listen, hear me out. The Access Vandal is like one of the coolest skins I've ever seen in any game, like ever. It's amazing. So, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Valorant is a bad game. I'm not saying anything bad about the game itself, and I have a lot of respect for the devs because it really seems like they care a lot about the game. However, I really do think that this monetary system is a little bit predatory, but like at the end of the day, if I'm spending my hard-earned money on some pretty pixels, that's my decision that I'm making using my card. Every time I've bought a skin or a battle pass, I've bought it with my money, fully aware that I'm just buying cosmetics, and maybe it's not my best purchase ever, but womp womp. And before someone mentions kids buying skins and battle passes with their parents' credit cards without their parents' permission, I'm not a parent, so maybe, you know, take what I say with a grain of salt, but you really shouldn't let your kids just like have free access to your credit card, especially if they're not at an age or maturity level where they understand what the fuck they're doing. And hey, if you don't agree with whatever prices the game's charging for their cosmetic stuff, just don't buy them. I mean, it's not like anything that a game would sell would actually affect the gameplay, right? Right? Genshin Impact is an action role-playing game. So I used to be like a pretty casual Genshin player because, you know, it's honestly like a really relaxing game. It's nice to, you know, cool down with after some very stressful games of Overwatch or Valorant or CSGO or whatever other game is making me mad at the time. I was initially going to use Genshin as an example of a good use of free-to-play because it's really good for casual players like what I used to be. Okay, so I have written down that the main currency of Genshin Impact is Primo Gems, but then I remembered that there's like more, which is like the in-game currency. Like more is like the coins in the game, and then Primo Gems are like the stuff you like spend. Okay, listen, you know what I mean. Whatever. You can't buy Primo Gems, but you can buy Genesis Crystals, and one Genesis Crystal equals one Primo Gem, so like you can basically buy Primo Gems and you can't buy Au.Ra. So, you know what I mean, right? I'm just gonna pretend that you do. Yeah, so the really good thing about Genshin's system is that you can earn like a ton of Primo Gems for free. Every day you'll get 4 commissions, and they refresh every single day. And every time you complete one, you'll get 10 Primo Gems. And if you complete all 4 of them, you can get just an extra 20 Primo Gems. That's 60 Primo Gems a day. And you only need 160 Primo Gems to wish. I'll get onto that in a second. So 3 days of doing all your commissions, that's 180 Primo Gems. So back to wishes. Wishes in this game are like loot boxes. They've got like weapons and stuff like that. And most importantly, they've got characters. Every Genshin character does different things. You know, they've got different weapons, they've got different abilities, etc., etc. And as a casual player, the system was pretty great because realistically, I did not care that much about who I had on my team. But you know, it's still nice to draw every now and then to see what I get. However, for a more serious Genshin player, things are super, super different. Different Genshin characters have different ratings. 5 stars is the highest rating for these. You are guaranteed to pull at least one 5-star character every 90 wishes, and Genshin does use a system called Pity that'll allow you to like increase your chances of pulling your 5-star character or whatever. And because of Pity, it's really common to get your 5-star on your 76th or 75th wish. That's still a lot of wishes though. Aside from that, your chances of pulling a 5-star character are 0.6%, which is so low. So it's possible that you won't get a 5-star character until you spend 14,400 Primo Gems. That is 80 days of commissions, and you do get Primo Gems for doing regular missions as well, so maybe 60 days, if I'm being generous, of just collecting Primo Gems, and then you might get your character. You might actually. It's not a guarantee you'll get the one you want because there's multiple 5 stars. So that's cool. A lot of very dedicated Genshin players are just going to want to keep going and going and going, and you'll be this close, at least you think you'll be this close to getting the character you want. So, you know, why not just buy like a couple of Primo Gems here and there? A lot of very serious Genshin players have developed something that's reminiscent of an addiction, and I don't want to say outright that Genshin is causing caffeine addictions, but like, it is way too close for comfort. By the way, like, I see a lot of people blaming the Genshin players who like are borderline addicted to this game for spending money, and okay, yes, they are making the decision to spend money. No one is, you know, holding a gun to their head and saying, hey, buy Primo Gems. But addiction is like an incredibly complicated and very serious thing. I'm not going to pretend to understand it, but if you don't have a degree in something that will allow you to understand it, you shouldn't pretend to understand it either. And I get like it's kind of like a weird thing, I guess, to have an addiction to, and it's kind of like, oh, why don't you just like not buy Primo Gems? It's not that easy. Addiction's difficult to beat. The thing is, the people behind Genshin, Hoya First is how I think you pronounce it, but I could be wrong there, take it with a grain of salt, but that company can justify all of this because they don't make money from selling copies of the game. It's free to play. So what is the moral of the story? Well, I think that free to play just isn't bad. In fact, I think free-to-play is really, really good. But a ton of the practices used by companies who use free-to-play as a justification are terrible. And realistically, I know if someone says, oh, I hate free-to-play, I know they don't mean the fact that they get to play a game for free. I know they mean, like, oh, I don't like having to pay, like, a second mortgage for a pretty skin. But I like nuance. I can't do no news November ever because I cannot shut up on things. I will elaborate and you cannot stop me. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go buy like a Fortnite skin or something. See ya.